Hello, I am Cliona O'Hara. I am a personal development coach. I've been studying personal development now for 14 years. And what I want to do today is I want to share some ideas with you, 5 very powerful steps that I've used to become healthier, happier, and wealthier. And so what I want to talk to you about first is I want to go back to when I was a young girl growing up in Derry, Northern Ireland. I was young. I was really excited about life, and then I left school and I had no job. I was searching, I was looking for more, and then I made the big decision. I said, you know what? I want to go to America. I want to pursue the American dream. Everybody looks so happy in those movies. Everybody has a perfect house, the perfect husband, children, dog, the white picket fence. And so I said, I want that. I want more. And so I got on the plane at the age of 18, 19, and I made a permanent move to the United States. I landed in New York, first of all. And so I remember one of the first trips in New York, I was with my sister. We're walking through Times Square. And I remember we would go up to everybody and we would hug everyone. We're here and we're so happy. We're from Northern Ireland. Yay. Well, little did we know, you don't do that in America. You don't do that, especially in New York City. So we ended up going back to our hotel, and 2 people followed us. So through these years, I've learned that every country, every culture is programmed and conditioned differently. I've learned that the subconscious mind, more than 95% of our behavior comes from our subconscious mind, not our conscious thinking mind. So most of the things we do is habitual. For example, when you get in the car, you don't think about how you're going to drive the car, right? How you're going to turn the key. You just get in and you do it because you created the habit. You created the habitual behavior to drive the car. So it's the same with us as humans. What I've learned is every country has their own unique cultural programming. And so I'm going to teach you 5 steps today to reprogram your mind to become healthier, happier, and wealthier, just as I have done for myself. I have been mentored by some of the greatest human potential experts in the world, prosperity teachers in the world. I work for Bob Proctor, and I love, love, love what I do. I absolutely love helping people discover their full potential and grow into the person they were always meant to become. Because we are each and every one of us have talents and gifts, but many of us, we are not using them. And so let's start with number 1. Number 1 is figure out, what do you really, really want? Not what you think you can have. What do you want? What's on your heart and soul that you've always wanted to go for, but you didn't have the courage, you didn't have the money, you didn't have the time, all these excuses. What do you really, really want? And I want you to write it down, okay? You're going to write down your goal in present tense. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have 100,000 a year. I'm building the life of my dreams with my new art studio, whatever it is, whatever you want to build. Now, I want you to be very, very careful. I want you to make sure you put a number on there. Put a money goal. I talk to people, especially women, and women don't have money goals. Over 90% of the women I talk to. That scares me. We must have a money goal. Don't be afraid to ask for money. I grew up in Northern Ireland, and the conditioning that I received in my environment was that money was bad. So when I came to America, guess what? I had no money. Why? Because I had no goals for money. I thought money was bad. I had this belief in my subconscious, money's bad, money's evil, don't want money, it's bad. Well, guess what? I found out that is wrong. That's the biggest fallacy I've ever discovered. Money is not evil. We need money. Money's a resource, a tool, a magnifier. So the more money in the hands of the good, the more good shall be done. So you must have a money goal. And if you have a money block or a money paradigm, it's called, you need to question yourself, where did that come from? Is it really your belief? Or did somebody pass that on to you like they passed it on to me? Money is a very important resource. I started to question this when I was in America in my 20s, when I had no money and I was sitting in an apartment in Brooklyn and I was struggling. I had no money for food, no money for rent. I'm like, this can't be the way. Why would God want me to struggle like this? I had no money goals because of the belief that was passed on to me. It was wrong. I studied this amazing book. The book, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. He talks about money and abundance is our birthright. When I read that, I knew straight away, all of me, my gut feeling, my intuition said that is right. Because when we have money, we can help others. When we don't have money, we're struggling to pay the bills. We're distracted with stress of how am I going to afford? How am I going to do this? So especially ladies, women, please write down your goal and write down how much money you want a year. You don't need to know how you're going to get it yet. The universe will provide the way as you move forward. You'll start getting ideas in your mind of how to make that money. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, figure out your why. Why do you want the goal? Why do you want the better life? Why? Go inwards. Go inwards. Okay? You must discover your why because that's going to create the desire. The famous book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about the principles of success that he discovered from interviewing so many of the most wealthiest and successful people in the world. One of the principles of success is desire. When you connect to your why, that will ignite a desire for you. It ignites a desire for me. I know my why. That desire drives me every day. Those days that I'm in bed and I just want to sleep and I say, oh, I'm not today, I don't feel. When I think about my why, the desire kicks in and I'm jump out of bed. So figure out your why and create the burning desire. It's almost like the octane tank that's going to boost you and give you the fuel for your fire. Number 3, we have been programmed. You were programmed. I was programmed. I was speaking to people the other day from India. I coach people from all over the world. I talk to people from all over the world. Each country has their own conditioning, their own cultural paradigms, they're called. And I was speaking to these lovely people in India, and yet again, 90% of the people I speak to from India and Pakistan, they are not happy because they have no money and they're not happy. But they have all these degrees. So the conditioning in India, what I've found from speaking to these people, is that they were raised that you must get a degree. You must get a really great education. Go get a master's now. Go get a PhD. Keep educating. More knowledge. But they're not happy. They have no money. And they didn't even have money goals. So each country, I've noticed, has its own unique conditioning. When I was in Northern Ireland, my conditioning was money was bad. You shouldn't want money, so I didn't have any. Those beliefs were passed on to me. And whoever passed them on to me, they were passed on to them. It's not their fault. So I'm going to teach you how to change that. We need to reprogram our subconscious mind towards what we want. So if you want more money, you want to be confident, then you need to start repeating to yourself and give yourself affirmations. Affirmations, I'm sure you've all heard about affirmations. Affirmations are not just nice things to say. You're literally suggesting to your subconscious a new belief to replace the old belief. For example, when I believed that money was evil, that was a belief in my subconscious, money is evil. I've replaced that belief with I am prosperity, I am wealthy, I am prosperous. And the more I say that, the more my subconscious is listening to that, I'm replacing the old belief. I've already replaced it because I do believe I am prosperity and I am wealthy. And then the other thing growing up, I was told, who do you think you are? Don't show off. Don't stand out in the front. That's bad. That's bad manners, right? So now I've had to replace that belief with I am confident. I am confident. And I've said it over and over and over until I've now replaced the belief that standing out in front is not bad. I am confident. So you need to replace these negative limiting beliefs with affirmations. Do it on repetition daily. And you will see, if you keep saying this and writing it down on repeat every day, you're going to start changing your belief system. You're going to change the programming that was passed on to you. It's not even your fault. It's not my fault. This is the way we were raised. Number 4, you need to be very careful. This is something I'm very, very passionate about. Other people's opinions. There is a graveyard. Think of this image. There's a graveyard of graves, and there's past people that have passed on. Their names are on the grave. But what else is in that graveyard? Their dreams and their goals died with them. So you need to be careful to reject other people's opinions. If they're not in alignment with your goal, reject them. Say reject. And number 5, very, very important. There's a little voice in your mind. It's called your inner critic. Give it a name and become aware of it. When it tells you you're not good enough, just say reject, reject, reject. I named my inner critic Cecil. So when I hear that little voice try to distract me, not today, Cecil, reject. And then I'll give myself an affirmation. You are here for a purpose. Find out what your gifts and talents are and start finding a way to give them away. You are prosperous. You are abundant. You are perfectly designed. You're here for a reason. And I want you to become the greatest version of yourself. Woman, ask for the money. Go after money. It's very important. You will be of service to others if you have money and you're resourceful. So my wish for you, follow these 5 steps and become and create the belief system that you want to become the person that you were always meant to be.